How was your guys' day? I know it sounds like a broken record. I couldn't put into words how proud I am of our guys. As a coach, you sign up for this. I came here with a dream and idea to do something, and it's coming. I can guarantee it's coming, but the part I wish I could thank every fan that was in that stadium, every person that watched it on TV, every individual that invested to help us have a great environment, because it was awesome. Our kids put in a lot to get to where they are today, and we obviously missed an opportunity to convert a PAT. We got a block. We had a high snap on a field goal. Had just a couple plays defensively that we broke down on. Offensively, did a lot of really good things. A.J. Derby's big play, and running backs kept bouncing back. I thought our O-line, it's a very good front that they're playing against, and did a lot of really good things, obviously. But we just do a couple things that are very, very easily fixed for us as coaches to take a look at. Guys probably trying to do a little too much. As coaches, we got to make sure that we give them the right plan, and I think there's a lot of that going along. We'll take today as a learning opportunity. I think we stayed pretty healthy. I don't think Darius is too bad. I know he got rolled up there at the end. Corliss took a shot to the thigh on that play out of bounds there, but he was cleared to come back in. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty good, significant thigh bruise. It was really good to get Demetrius Wilson back in there, and we'll just continue to build our roster. I think we're getting stronger by the day, and the more players we get and the more players we develop, the better we'll be in the fourth quarter. And give a lot of credit to Alabama, good football team. The SEC West is very difficult, and excited to be in it every day. So with that, open it up for easy questions.
Bret, a fourth down play, 4th and 1 there late in the game. You guys, it's kind of the same thing happening and staying there.
Yeah.
I know it was Jay. Well, just what happened on that play, and just talk about how tough it is not being able to get those 4th and 1s when you're.
Yeah, it was a long one, but we went with a play that similar to what we ran, and like you said, a week ago, 2 weeks ago against A&M. They ran a pressure right into it, which we should have all sealed down and try to get it to bounce outside, but. I just felt as a coach, you call 4th and 1 when you believe that you have a chance to convert, and obviously if we convert, we make a lot of really good feelings, but we didn't convert, and thought our defense responded very, very well, but obviously that was one that they did a good job.
Alex Collins didn't see the field in the first quarter.
Yeah, Alex has continued to grow in our program. He's has got his good off the field stuff as far as grades and stuff like that, but he missed a workout during the bye week on a Friday morning, and had an issue then with the workout. Nothing football, nothing academic, just being on time, and for that he sat out the first quarter. Nothing bigger than that.
How do you think the offense played overall?
Well, our offense has made strides. I think BA has continued to make strides. I think we continue to find this is the first game that I felt really good because we were healthy, with Demetrius back in there and Keon Hatcher. But that was probably as stout as defensive unit as we faced this season. And obviously they did a lot of really good things. But offensively, again, to get the points and the production in the third and fourth quarter, we got to be able to sustain what we did in the first half.
Coach, your defense holds Alabama to 227 total yards, 66 yards rushing. Thoughts on that performance?
Our defense, I can't give enough credit to Rob and Clay and Rory and Randy. And even got guys investing a lot in it defensively. I think they knew that they were up for a big challenge. Alabama does a lot of different things with same personnel, so there's a lot of communication out there. Their one touchdown in the first half was a breakdown of we had 2 guys on our back, and they both left him to go get the quarterback. One of those things that you got to learn by fire, but a lot of really positive things, but something we can still improve upon.
At the end, Bama had the illegal procedure, 5 yards. They restart the clock and run the clock. Is that right?
I tried to get an answer on that and was unable to do that. They got off the field pretty quick. Jeff, the boundary official over there, said the clock was at 1:01. I wasn't able to follow up with the question. So a lot of great opportunity for everybody to get better.
How do you get a timeout? I saw you run out on the field. How are you supposed to get a timeout?
I might try a cartwheel next time. You guys probably don't want to see me attempt that. But I very, very frustrating not to get it. I felt like I was in the middle of the play, so I was like within 20 yards of being in the in the backfield, and I began to slow down because I thought for sure somebody would be able to see me. What happened is they subbed late. We tried to sub, but our people were not in the right positions. I was trying to get the officials' attention, but obviously it didn't happen.
No, it was late in the third quarter when AJ scored. Did you think about going for 2 there?
No, we had made a decision at halftime that we were going to go for 2 in the fourth quarter, and obviously at that point we didn't.
A lot of passes, not as much run.
Yeah, just had trouble moving some of those guys. You know, we get 3 yards, but then we'd have a negative yard for 1, and you know, going against good teams, you got to adjust and adapt, and be able to convert. I thought our guys caught the ball pretty well. We obviously would have loved to come up with there in a 2-minute drill.
Alabama punter had you inside 27 times.
What's that?
The Alabama punter, were you hoping DJ would have fielded some of those? Just what you think about the whole punting game?
Yeah, they kind of he punched the ball a little bit all over the place. We had a good handle on where he was going to go with the ball, but they kind of went right and left, and I thought DJ did a nice job a couple times. Those guys in his face just fielding the ball himself, but we want to make sure in a game like today, it was a little bit, even though the rain had stopped, the field was very moist, and you just worry in a kicking game, you don't want to give away a possession. You really like for one of theirs, you know, I think they put the ball ground 2 or 3 times in the punt game, and balls bouncing all over, and it ends up in their hands. But one of those things that hopefully that ball bounce our way someday.
In the first quarter, you put a ball on the ground right at the goal line, which I guess comes back to haunt you in the long run. There's been these mistakes on offense, 2 games in a row. Do you have a concern about your offense's discipline with the football, with plays, the 4 plays last game?
Yeah. You know, obviously, anytime we have a breakdown, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, I got to look at myself first. You know, the play that I think you're referencing was on Cody on the play in the flat, and the guy kind of popped it out from behind. Obviously, the ball security wasn't as tight as we'd like, but give credit to Alabama for being able to punch it out. I think our offensive guys, defensive guys, and special teams continue to move forward. One of our edges, obviously, is to play clean, which means we got to be great with ball security, and obviously we didn't do it at times offensively, and we got to be able to correct that.
Can you talk about your offensive line in the second half? Were you hoping to establish more of a run in the third quarter?
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously we like to run the football. They have something to do with that as well. They were playing an odd front where they just kind of, you know, stymied us a little bit at the line of scrimmage. I think another year of development in our program, another year of added strength and conditioning, and as well as a little bit of depth. You know, we had Frank Ragnow didn't play for us at all today. He had a little bit of an issue on Tuesday. He got a little bit dinged on a concussion. He actually got cleared today, but I just wasn't going to do it. I just didn't feel good enough to put him in the game, and obviously that shortchanges us in rotation with Mitch, and then Dan Skipper was playing on a half a leg out there. You know, he's a little bit banged up, but we'll continue to get better. Nobody's going to feel sorry for ourselves, and we'll make a move.
Like that they really wanted to blitz you, and Brandon took them out of that. Did they just decide to cover?
Yeah, you know, third down, they get very creative. You know, obviously defensive-minded Nick and his staff bring a lot of different things on third down, but I thought in the first half, BA really did a nice job of adjusting, flushing out of the pocket, hit some wide-open guys as we bought a little bit of time, but the coverage with our guys, especially that 2-minute period, they did a nice job of funneling, rerouting, and you know, we got to be able to hold up in our protection to give them time.
What did Coach Saban say to you after the game?
What's that?
What did Coach Saban say to you after the game?
You know what, Trey? I don't even know. I was kind of I think he said good game, congrats. You know, I appreciate, you know, you guys report everything. You know, it's more out of respect for Alabama than anything. You know, I think when I came to this league, I made a comment that I came here to beat Alabama, not play Alabama, and I mean that with all sincerity. I just speaking what I say, and I compare it a lot to in that other league I was in. You know, I went after a certain team that had won a lot of championships, and I think that is more of a respect, and not nothing. I don't want that Phyllis gal calling and yelling at me from Feinbaum's show. I know that, but it's more out of a respect for what Alabama's been able to do, and Nick and the way he handles himself. I think it's pretty impressive.
When you opened up your thoughts here in this press conference, you talked a little bit about just where you guys are. Yeah. And you were kind of emotional about it. Can you just tell us a little bit more about just where you think you've come? I mean, think back to Alabama this time last year.
Yeah. You know, I with all due respect, I spoke to the 64 team on Friday night briefly and unveiled their uniforms. it was really cool for me to be a part of that, just by pure luck. You know, I've met some of those guys. Obviously, Jerry Jones came and talked, and Jimmy Johnson talked to our guys last night. I've gotten to know Jimmy, got to know several guys that were on that team, and Mr. Lindsey, and there's such a pride with that group. And yes, they won a national championship, and yes, they were undefeated, but it's the pride of what those guys are and what they've done with their lives that is so awesome. And I told our guys, last night, and I made a reference, I said they don't celebrate legacies of teams that don't win games. You know, they don't celebrate legacies of losing teams. They celebrate legacies off champions, but I think we went over and beyond. I think Jeff and his staff went over and beyond, because that 64 team, when you look at them, what they've accomplished in life is pretty cool. And our guys have all those same opportunities. Jerry mentioned it to them. Jimmy mentioned it to them. And that's the stuff we're building. I feel like a guy that has put in all this and sees all these things and know the blueprint, it works, and you begin to see it happen, but we got to go fix this wall here, and we got to go make an adjustment here, and it's getting frustrating. I get it, man, but we're in here for the long haul. I am, and the part that kills me is for my players. My players, their families, because they are winners. I can't give them a W, but what they're doing in the classroom, off the field, and they're getting frustrated. It is very frustrating. It's frustrating for me. But I would probably be one of those guys going off in here and being belligerent if I didn't love what I was around, if I didn't love the environment I was in. And I don't mean to give you a long answer, but I appreciate everybody for sticking with us, because it's going to be awesome. And we'll correct our offensive mistakes. We'll make our defense better. We'll correct our kicking game, and we'll get some more bodies in here. But what we're building is very special.